Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Derek here. We are back reacting to episode 2 of Loki. This is called The Variant. So last time was Glorious Purpose. We followed Loki right after the Battle of New York, where he is kind of taken through this bureaucratic conveyor belt, just one step to the next of figuring out where he is, and they're all just trying to go through the process, and he's getting arraigned and charged, and he's just like what? And then Owen Wilson, wow, he comes to try and maybe give him a break a little bit and co-opt him, join the team a little bit to help with his mission, which is hunting down a different variant of Loki who is killing all their hunters, their team members. And so in order to do that, he has to interview Loki and kind of figure out what makes you tick? Why are you the way that you are? And then he also just shows him some highlights from his life, but this is what your life would have been going forward. And then, Loki, obviously he does not want to do that. So he kind of not breaks out, but he kind of gets loose a little bit, and then he finds Pillboy with just a drawer full of infinity stones. Just tons of them in there. And he has a little bit of an existential crisis, because he's this whole thing that I have kind of built my entire goal around of trying to get infinity stones, and they just have them and they don't care. And he's like, what? I wonder if he pocketed a few of those stones and then left the TVA, would they then activate and be usable? Maybe. But yeah, he just has this crisis of conscience, kind of goes back in and keeps viewing what his life would have been. He sees himself die. He sees the love that his parents had for him, and he admits that he doesn't like hurting people. He just does it because it's part of the illusion. And then the episode ends with the other variant of Loki killing more TVA team members. So presumably, I think this episode should show just kind of the first steps of Loki kind of joining the team, probably. He went through the whole process of kind of, being stripped down literally and figuratively to his core, and then being built back up to where he was almost at the end of at the beginning of Infinity War. But yeah, still very much a different Loki than we know, but closer to where he was. Before we jump into this, please consider leaving a like on the video, and please consider subscribing, especially if you want to see more of my reactions to Loki. Consider ringing the bell so you're notified when I upload. And then if you want to see the full-length reaction to this episode, or if you just want to support me in general outside of YouTube, consider checking out my Patreon. There you can become a super supporter and be featured in my videos like my man's right here. Yeah, but other than that, let's jump into this episode. Miss doing that. Renaissance music. What in the Renaissance? Oshkosh, Wisconsin. What's up? Over there in Wisconsin, eh? Gotten real Renaissance with it. Yeah, those people look like they're from Wisconsin. Wisconsin sucks, by the way. Minnesota all the way. Soda all day. All day. Hi. I thought that was Catherine Hahn for a second. I was like, what? That looked like a girl's hand.
Bye.
Just caps him and then takes that one. It's probably not good for that girl. Either she's dead or whatever she's gonna get used for is not gonna be fun times for her. That did look like a girl version of Loki though, so I'm thinking he's hunting down Lady Loki.
Okay, what happens when a Nexus event branches past Redline?
Very bad things.
Come on, Loki.
He has to study. Oh man. Jacket. I want one of those. Someone buy me that jacket, please.
Smart. A variation of this guy. A type we should all be very familiar with because the TVA has pruned a lot of these guys, almost more than any other variant. And no two are alike. Slight differences in appearances.
Was that him winning the Tour de France?
Although powers generally include
Illusion projection involves depicting a detailed image from outside oneself which is perceptible in the external world, whereas duplication casting entails recreating an exact facsimile of one's own body in its present circumstance, which acts as a true holographic mirror of its molecular structure.
But you already knew that. Been breaking two teams, including myself.
Him explaining how his powers work. Professor Loki.
An audience with the timekeepers is on the table.
Keep that focus.
Okay, so that's why he's gonna do what he's doing. He thinks maybe if he meets with them, he can bargain to get to go back to his timeline.
So he's taking hostages now?
The variants never take
They use he a lot, so I'm thinking it's a girl.
Wait. If you leave this tent, you'll end up like them.
Why?
What do you see?
You underestimate me, just as you underestimate this lesser Loki, which is why you walk into one wolf's mouth after another.
2 units. He is wasting our time.
I'm the key to his plan. He knows that I'm stronger than him.
Is he just making stuff up right now?
I need to speak to the timekeepers at once. They're in graver danger than we realized.
He's 100% making stuff up.
Yeah, help me for a second. My ears are sharp, dude.
So one of these things just resets everything that was in the vicinity of it, the affected area.
I approve the missions.
If they have to be approved, could be an agenda.
You might need this for discussion. Mobius.
What?
There's a designated spot right there.
And they're all
The variant likes to stall for time, and eventually we'll catch the other one doing the same thing because understanding this Loki helps me get closer
True.
to the one we're chasing.
True facts. True facts
I know.
about the octopus.
Everything.
And how are the old timekeepers?
They're probably dead,
I don't know.
and it's just a computer program running it now.
You really believe in this variant?
Yes.
Luckily, he believes in himself enough for the both of us. And hey, if it doesn't work, I'll delete him myself. I'll give you two options, and you can believe whichever one you want. A, because I see a scared little boy shivering in the cold, and you kind of feel bad for that ice runt. Or B, I
Ice
just
runt.
want to catch this guy, and I'll tell you whatever I need to tell you.
¿Por qué no los dos? Is that a K2 Keychron? Got almost the same keyboard as her. Cost them $150.
Can I help you?
Yes, I'm on some important TVA business.
I'd like all files pertaining to the creation of the TVA.
Those are classified.
Okay, I like all files pertaining to the beginning of time.
Those are classified.
To the end
Okay,
of time.
which ones aren't classified?
Happy reading.
Like 4 files. Here you go. Is he just reading what happened in Thor Ragnarok? Oof, entire civilization annihilated. Oh, this is a different one. This is where Ragnarok happens and they don't escape. Maybe that's where the variant's from, and the reason that it blew up and everyone died is because he wasn't there.
He's hiding in apocalypses.
Which apocalypse? Any time in history, there's like a million of them.
Ragnarok. Are you familiar?
Yes, the destruction of Asgard and most of its people. I'm sorry.
Yes. Very sad. Anyway, it got me thinking.
Very sad. Anyway.
I could go down to Asgard before Ragnarok causes its complete destruction, and I could do anything I wanted. I could, let's say, push the Hulk off the Rainbow Bridge. There he goes.
You're ruining his salad.
You must see.
Pill boy? Oh, dip.
Surtur will destroy Asgard no matter what I do. No, don't do. There's the apocalypse.
Just ruins his salad.
If everything and everyone around you is destined for imminent destruction, then nothing that I say or do will matter. Because the timeline's not going to branch. Because it gets destroyed. Hence,
True.
the variant could be hiding in the apocalypse and do whatever he wants, and we wouldn't know. Take me to another one.
Smart. Go to Pompeii, like in the trailer.
I've never stabbed anyone in the back. That's such a boring
You
form
stabbed a lot of
betrayal.
people.
I've studied almost every moment of your entire life. You've literally stabbed people in the back like 50 times.
I'd never do it again. Because it got old. Okay.
It got old. I wonder what he's gonna do to prove that it doesn't matter what he does.
Loki! Loki!
Can you make bird noises?
Vos omnes, morituri estis, iste mons, ignes, pastos per saecola in vos est, vomiturus. We are from the future, right? What is the TVA? I mean, it's from the future. It sounds from the future. It's pretty futury.
Yeah, that's just kind of outside of time, right? We are from the future, right? Is he right?
How we do?
I don't believe it. Zero variance energy, no branching in the timeline.
TVA never even know we were here. If it were me, this is where I would hide.
Okay, but you should leave, because otherwise you're gonna die.
You know, some things, actually most things in history are kind of dumb and everything gets ruined eventually, but...
Jet skis.
in the early
Always
1900s,
awesome.
For a brief, shining moment, there was a beautiful union of form and function, which we call the jet ski. Reasonable man cannot do.
Is there any natural disasters?
So why read about
Like a tidal wave where you can just like bring a jet ski there first?
Helps remind me.
See, I know something children don't.
What's that?
That no one bad is ever truly bad.
No one
No
good.
one good is ever
Is ever
truly
truly
good.
good.
Scared little boy.
Yes, it was quite patronizing. I thought it was a bit too far, actually.
Kablooey.
What's that?
Candy. You have candy on Asgard?
Yeah, grapes, nuts.
You're so bitter.
He doesn't know what candy is.
You just uncovered a massive hole in our security, right?
That's what concerns me.
Why does that concern you? You should want to know about the holes in your security.
You I trust.
Things are gonna get weird. Let's do it.
One step at a time.
Knives, yes.
Absolutely
Oh,
not.
come on. Haven Hills, Alabama. Arnar. Does not look good. It's like a flood and a hurricane and a typhoon all mixed into one. They couldn't have had their magic doors appear closer to the front?
The hell was that?
That was me. Using magic to dry my clothes. So I don't announce myself with every squeaky footstep like the rest of you.
You should use magic to dry their clothes.
Take both teams.
Why is it the people you can't trust are always saying, trust me? Hang on to your time.
Because most people don't trust them because they do untrustworthy things. Is that the one we're looking for? Is it a bomb? 20 minutes.
Hey, what are you doing?
Shopping for plants.
In
Currently?
a storm.
It's a hurricane sale. Azaleas are half off.
Could that be you?
No. It... Oh, the weird stuff transfers.
Me, I presume.
Please. If anyone's anyone, you're me.
The smile.
Hi, are you guys looking for the disaster shelter?
No.
Guy's like still trying to work. Hello, how can I help you?
I'm going to overthrow the timekeepers. And, cards on the table. I could use a qualified lieutenant.
I assume you mean me.
Yeah, neither of these two want to be the right-hand man. They just want to be the man.
After 8 to 10 seconds of consideration, the answer is no. I'm not interested in ruling the time
After
periods.
8 to 10 seconds.
Timekeepers, where they are. I gave it away how to find them.
Interesting. He's gone.
I miss Randy. Hi.
Maybe it's not actually Loki. And someone else is doing this.
What do you want from me? What is this about?
What are you doing, man? Ooh. That looks like a girl. Yes.
This isn't about you.
Right.
What's it about then? Timekeepers are gonna have to show up personally to stop this. Oh shoot, there's a ton of those. Are these being dropped into the TVA? Destroying the TVA? Or into different timelines?
Somebody just found the sacred timeline.
Dang. She just sent those into random places, eh? Is he gonna follow her? Convenient timing. Now he's gonna go have a chat with Lady Loki. Well. Things are already getting weird. They're ramping up in episode 2, baby. Oh man. So the first part of this, we hit up Oshkosh, Wisconsin for another murder. And then we the first part of this episode is really kind of just like Loki learning the ropes of what it means to be like at the TVA, you know, doing his homework, all that jazz, going on some case hunting a little early, you know, trying to figure out what's going on here. Lady Loki kidnaps one of the hunters, probably a good one, because they were like, oh, you'd never get on the jump on C-20, whatever. And gets her to reveal where the timekeepers are, which they may or may not exist. You know, this could be like a Matrix situation, or what is some other story where it's like the people in charge, they're just kind of like talked about as like, oh, like they're the ones controlling everything, and then when you find them, they've been like dead for a long time, and it's just a system like running on autopilot, essentially. That would be interesting. We get just, you know, Mobius sticking up for Loki, trying to be like, hey man, he's gonna do good things, I promise. Meanwhile, like, they're just trying to find this Loki, like trying to figure out anything. Loki's trying to figure out info on the TVA, how it started, the end of time, because he secretly wants to get out from under them. You know, obviously he does not want to work for the TVA forever, but he asks what files he can read, and the only files they let him read are files on himself or the destruction of his people. And he realizes that in the destruction of Asgard, there was 0 variant energy detected. So, like, it was supposed to happen, and then they form the hypothesis that if you go to a disaster, you know, an apocalypse type situation, you can do whatever you want, because everyone there is going to die, so nothing you do matters. And they figure out that that's where Lady Loki is hiding, just in these natural disasters, and they test it by going to Pompeii. He's just like, flee for your lives. Like, talking in it's like, did they speak Italian in Pompeii, or like what ancient language was that? I don't speak Italian, so I don't know, but it didn't sound like modern Italian. But yeah, so like, I don't know what it sounded like, but they basically confirm the theory that like he can do whatever he wants in an apocalypse / pre-apocalypse type thing, because everyone there is going to die, and they're meant to die. So, you know, any changes he makes doesn't matter, because it's all going to go away anyway. And they run with that theory. It works great. And I like the switch to Lady Loki at the end, because this whole episode they've been tossing out he, this, he, that. And the only, like, one of the only hints they have is the kablooey gum or whatever, which was given to this little like French girl in episode 1, and then like, so, maybe Lady Loki has a soft spot for a little girl here and there of, give her some gum. But then they keep trying to throw you off the trail that it's Lady Loki, because, Mobius uses the scared little boy thing where, they're making sure to just keep tossing out boy, and then Lady Loki at the end. If we didn't know that it was going to be Lady Loki going into this, like, I feel like a lot of people knew it was going to be Lady Loki. If you didn't know that ahead of time, that was probably a pretty good twist. But yeah, so they think they have Loki trapped or at least cornered to Rock's Cart, which is just a giant shopping place in the middle of a disaster and huge. And so we've only seen we've only seen a few instances of these hunters being taken out. Turns out Lady Loki has taken out a frick ton of them, like a butt ton, and secured so many of these, like, reset grenade things. Because, like, how many of those went off at once? Insane. This was kind of, it was kind of a trap, but not really. Like, I feel like the plan was going to happen regardless of whether these guys showed up there. But Lady Loki uses the, like, possession, that, like, can transfer between people via touch, and she's just kind of, she's like a disembodied voice for a little bit, just talking through these people. And our Loki is like, what do you want from me? Like, why are you doing this? And, selfishly thinking it's about him, when it's not. She's like, it's not about you. Never has been. Kind of like what they said in episode 1. It's not your story. Never has been. But her plan is to, accelerate the destabilization of the timeline. Because maybe she thinks if things are going this crazy, the timekeepers will have to step in, right? Like the previous time that the timekeepers, like, actually stepped in was when the timelines were, like, at war with each other, and they stepped in and made it a sacred timeline. So maybe she figures the only way that they show up again is if I F the timelines. And it's hard to do just one at a time, because if she kills a bunch of people, then they send an even bigger team to investigate, and she's got to kill those people as well. It's easier just to kill multiple groups of people and then steal their stuff and then screw the timelines, and they can't really do anything about that. I thought she was going to send those grenades to the TVA and then just have the TVA get pruned from existence. That would be insane. And she's just talking with Loki, having a fight, and it's just a very nice interaction of him talking to himself and realizing how annoying he can be. Like, we think he's just so charming, but when he's the main character that's getting messed with, you're like, dude, come on. And he's like, I wouldn't be this mean to myself. It's like, you clearly would. And she's just, he hits her with a Roomba and, vacuum, and they're fighting. She's kind of kicking his butt, honestly, because she inhabits a big dude. Yeah, and then her plan seemingly goes off without a hitch. Like everything works perfectly for her, if we're honest. She sends all the time grenades to different timelines, or different spots in the timeline. Everything's going wibbly wobbly, all timey-wimey. It would have been so cool to see the doctor at Pompeii. Things are getting weird, and she just walks through this door and then leaves it open just long enough for him to walk through, and he's tempted to stay there for a second. He's like, should I do it? And then he's like, all right, well, you know what? Screw it. We're going. And he follows her through the door, and we are now 2/6 of the way through this season, because there could be more seasons, right? I think the way they classified this series, it's not a limited series, where WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier were limited series. This one has the possibility for more. And after next episode, we'll be halfway through. But so him and Lady Loki are now seemingly in the same area. And there's a shot from the trailer, from one of the trailers, where they go to this, like, since we know that she's going to be hiding in apocalypse type scenarios, that's presumably where they went. And there's a shot from the trailer in like I think it's New York or somewhere where like everything is just like falling apart around them, and they're just kind of like sitting down chatting. And we can't really tell because it's from far away. A lot of people thought it might have been Black Widow, but I think it's clearly Lady Loki. So presumably, and it wasn't in, maybe it was like destroyed New York, but it could possibly be somewhere else. But yeah, next episode, they're going to have probably an extended chat, one that's not so rushed and violent. They'll actually get to sit down and talk to each other about like, hey, yo, why are you doing this? What is going on? And I'm excited. This was really good. I liked this episode a lot. Things are already getting wild. Like, Falcon and Winter Soldier was very emotional because you care for these characters a lot, and the specific journey that they were going on was like very intrinsically filled with hurt and pain. This one, like I think Kevin Feige said, this is the show that has the potential to have the biggest impact on the MCU overall. And it's crazy. You know, first 3 episodes of WandaVision, you're watching and you're just trying to figure out like, okay, well, what does this mean? What are the undertones here? Like, what is secretly behind this? And it was like kind of brain melting, but it's not like, this is very bombastically like, what is going on? Like, this is insane. And I'm so stoked about it. I wonder what Owen Wilson's character is thinking. What is Mobius thinking? He trusted Loki. Is his trust warranted? Is the question. You know, is our Loki gonna come through in the end and do what the right thing is, or do we even know what the right thing is? You know, because you know, who decides whether what the timekeepers say is right? You know, the timekeepers could be a corrupt institution. We don't know that. So for now, I mean, we can't quite say that Lady Loki's a bad guy. I mean, she definitely has killed a lot of people, but we'll see. We'll see in the long run who is like right, and what our Loki, like whether he's on the right side of things and which way he will go, because he's very unpredictable. But yeah, it was dope. I loved it. Let me know what you guys thought down below in the comments. Let's start a conversation. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like on the video. It helps my channel out a lot. Subscribe, helps grow the channel. Ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. If you are interested in the full-length reaction to this episode, head down to my Patreon. It is linked in the description below. There you can become a super supporter and get featured in my videos like this guy. But other than that, thank you for watching. I will catch you guys next week. Peace.